I'm gonna let you cook because this is the first ever CS3 positional breakdown. Now, when people see this and be like, okay, why in the hell is Cecil breaking down the quarterback and he's a former wide receiver? What y'all don't even know is Cecil was a quarterback first. He was a QB before he was a wide receiver.
Yeah.
This is how I feel about Shedeur Sanders. I'm starting to buy in on Shedeur Sanders being the Cleveland Browns' next quarterback. Couple reasons here, right? He's Dion's kid. And because he's Dion's kid, he has had a lot come his way that he didn't
Where you
ask
going?
for, that he didn't earn, that he didn't deserve. And you've seen him keep that poise. You've seen him kind of stay quiet and go about business as usual. When him and his father arrived in Boulder, Colorado, with everything that come behind a last name and knowing the history of Colorado, to see what this young man has did in 2 seasons there to flip that program into a program of relevancy again,
Hmm.
like it says a lot about what he's capable of doing. To me, it says a lot about the mental strength. It says a lot about the mental ability. You know, you see the on field, he didn't play behind a good offensive line, but yet somehow, some way, his completion percentage was always through the roof. Somehow, some way, the accuracy was always right there. I just look at it like when you look at the Cleveland Browns situation, when you look at this franchise, and when you look at where we're trying to go, if you compare that to what Shedeur Sanders walked into Colorado, there are some similarities there. And because of what I seen him do in Colorado, I don't think the pressure is too much for him to have success here in Cleveland. I'm not really worried about, the fans right now that say, well, I don't want Shedeur because of what comes with him, his dad, or him being quote unquote too flashy. I truly believe that if Shedeur shows up in the city of Cleveland and
Okay.
he's a winning quarterback, everybody, they mama, they grandmama, they great grandmama, everybody gonna be behind this young man because he is, he will be the next thing. And you've watched a lot of Shedeur over the time, and this is your first breakdown. So take the floor, man. Take the floor.
Okay, so let's looking at Shadeur's stats this year. Let's start there: 4,100 yards, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 168.2 QB rating. I think his completion percentage was about 74% this year, and he's over 70 for his career from 2 years at Jackson State and 2 years in Boulder. This kid is phenomenal. By far, my favorite quarterback in the draft. And if you can, I want to get this out the way. So I'll start with his quote unquote weaknesses, and which was everybody in the draft will have weaknesses, right? I think when it comes to him, it will be his slight frame. It will be the lack of elite arm talent. Now, this is me being picky, right? This is me being really picky here and there. And this is the type of year you call it silly season. Well, this is I call shorts and t-shirt season. So a lot of people are going to kind of knock Shedeur for not being the 6'4", for not being the Anthony Richardson 230-pound crazy athlete type. He's not going to run super fast. He's not going to be super quick. The boy just plays quarterback extremely well. And to me, I want a guy that's going to play quarterback extremely well. And that's just what it is. Like I could care less about all that other height, weight, the lack of arm talent. Tom Brady didn't have the best arm talent, but he got rid of the ball quickly, right?
Mhm.
If you look at the breakdown, I watched all his games over the last couple of years, but this year in particular for this breakdown, I watched one, two, three, four, 5 games in particular, and kind of charted what I seen. Just looking at the short, medium, and deep completion percentage. When I mean this guy gets the ball out quickly and he processes things quickly. One of his strengths is being able to get the ball out quick and his ball placement when it comes to where he's going with the ball. Like I haven't seen that in a long time. He gets the ball out quickly. His pre-snap reads, he understands, okay, where's my easiest throw? Boom, I'm going there right now. And when it comes to the quick game, there's times where the OC, you can tell, gives him a play. He switches at the line of scrimmage and turns it to a big play. I love his poise in the pocket. Absolutely love his poise in the pocket. It's so many times, and you mentioned it. There's times he gets sacked 8 times in the game. It's times he gets sacked 6 times in the game. It's times he gets sacked 5, 6. It's multiple times he's getting hit over and over again, especially his junior year. But he stays so poised, and he's in the pocket, and he's delivering with people in his face. Now remember, he's about 6'1" ish, probably
Six
around
two on a
200,
good day. Yeah.
under around 200 pounds. And he's able to deliver that ball, boom, in with the pressure in his face, and it's extremely accurate. Yes, he does hold the ball long at times, but for me, that can be taught. Because again, he's trying to make plays down for his field. Now, I'll be honest with you. He played with 4 guys this year that I think will
Mhm.
be drafted. Travis Young, Webster, Horn, and I forgot the other kid's name, but those 4 guys probably will be drafted this year. But he was putting those boys in great situations, getting in and out of plays. Now, I would agree with this when I saw a comment. There's moments he does a good job of getting out the pocket and creating well, but there's also moments where he's holding on to the ball too long and doesn't slide well inside the pocket, right? So it's times where they made the left tackle was coming up instead of just sliding up and sliding back over to avoid that defensive end. He may get hit. He may take a sack. So there's moments where there's things he can work on. But when it comes to quarterback play, when it comes to handling the pressure, when it comes to playing big time in big moments, there's not a better quarterback in this draft that's more tested. You mentioned it. Deion Sanders' son. All eyes are on you. All eyes have been on him since Jackson State. And people were saying at Jackson State, oh, he wasn't going to do this. He wasn't going to do that. He went to the Big 12 and he put on a show week in and week out. Everybody and their mama came to the game. When they won 4 games, everybody was saying this. He was putting these stats up when they were 4-8 or 4-7 with no offensive line. Offensive
Mhm.
line got better, more weapons came, and you've seen him progress, get better. Yes, it's things he can work on, but that kid can play some football. His processing from if you watch the film, he's going from one read to the next read to the next read and getting the ball out. He's going from one read to the next read, find the check down. If it's not there, he's getting outside of the pocket, finding his way down the field. I would like to see him run a tad bit more, trust his athleticism just a little bit more. But this kid can flat out play quarterback. And to me, if you're the Cleveland Browns, and when you see a guy that's as mentally tough as him, when you see a guy that is not scared to go to a cold weather city, is not scared to go to a team that's not very good and turn that program around, and the whole nation, I coach high school football. Every high school quarterback in Texas, every high school kid in Texas, what were they doing and made a big play? They're doing the Shedeur Sanders. The type of the type of player that he could be, the aura he has, can change a franchise around, can change the city around, and he can put this city on his back and really lead a group of men. These guys believed in him. His leadership on the field. He was challenging Travis Hunter. He was challenging him. Hey, do you want the damn ball or not? I don't want no excuse. Do you want the ball or not? That's the type of guy you want in your quarterback room. Somebody that's not scared to talk to the best player, communicate, and then feed him the ball because he understands that's my guy, right? Too many big moments he stepped up in. Too many times he showed who he really is. So don't come to me with the lack of not said in the weaknesses, the lack of arm strength. He's not going to impress you with the shorts and t-shirt, but he's going to impress you on the football field where it matters most. Don't get confused by these analysts and scouts, y'all. Don't get confused. A lot of these guys are always into these traits. These traits, how big, how strong, how fast. They want to see the Anthony Richardson types. They want to see the crazy Joe Milton type of quarterback. When it comes down to how can you be a leader of men, can you play in pressure situations? Can you read the coverages and go through your progressions? Can you get the ball out quickly? Can you make adjustments when the blitzes come? He does that extremely well. So I'm very, very high on Shedeur Sanders.
All right, let's read some of these comments before we move on to our last topic. Don't forget the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, flagship show comes at you at 11 a.m. You can jump into the chat room starting at 10:50. Shout out to everybody who's making some comments. If you want your comment read before we get up out of here, drop it and we'll get it on your screen. Michael had a few things to say. He said Shedeur holds the ball too long. I just think he'll get completely destroyed behind his O line, and he won't have the benefit of playing a cupcake schedule like he did at Colorado. I think to me, when it comes to the schedule part of things, you only play who's on your schedule, and you don't really have no control on how successful or lack thereof that program is. It's not like you're, doing your work in Boulder, Colorado, and you looking over and what's going on elsewhere. You can't control that. Only thing you can control is, how well you play and if you come out victorious or not. So I don't. I mean, your thoughts on that?
I'll be honest with you. He showed up no matter who he played against. He bought it. Besides the BYU game where he got hit a lot, I think he threw 2 picks. The last 2 years at the Division I level, he played well in almost every single game. So say what you want. Josh Allen played at Wyoming. So don't give me about talking about, oh, it's a weak schedule, all this stuff. There's so many guys that played in different conferences around the country in college football. They get in the league and they produce. So please, just I get what you're saying, but just wait and see.
No, that's why we do that, man. That's why we're here doing these type of shows. FC says he holds the ball too long. Another one of those. He says pocket presence is not the strongest. With that being said, he is not very athletic or big to overcome his weaknesses previously mentioned. Lastly, will his style work here? I think his style will work here simply because of the accuracy, right? I think if you look at what Kevin Stefanski wants to do, what his system is made off of, it's almost like Shedeur Sanders is tailor made for it. I think his arm is strong enough even to throw the damn ball on this lake,
Yeah.
right? I mean, yeah, he was just throwing the ball in Colorado, so I'm not sure if that will be the biggest thing here. Michael came back and said, I wouldn't be upset if the Browns drafted him a Ward, to be honest. I just wish it wasn't with the second pick and we didn't have to pass on a sure thing like Abdul Carter or Mason Graham. Hey, Steve, let me ask you a question. You played in the league. Is there a certain thing as a sure thing in his NFL draft? Like, is there any guarantees, right?
Nah, there's no guarantees. Like
So what
you can say, sorry, I mean cut you off. You can say like, all right, this guy is really really good, and his game would translate. Like Abdul Carter, his game would translate to the league. He pops off at Penn State. Like when you watch the film on him, he just boom. Okay, this guy's gonna be good no matter what team he's gonna be on. But it doesn't mean it's a guarantee that he'll be successful. You got to be healthy. You got to learn the scheme. Like a lot of times I see him, he's standing up. So he has to be in a 3-4 outside linebacker type. Can he put his hand on the ground? What type of moves can he play? Is he going to be good against a 30-year-old, a Trent Williams type, right? Because guys that understand and know the tricks of the trade, that don't care how athletic you are, they're technically sound. They're gonna put their hands inside and hold on you. Now what can you do, right? It's easy to say a guy's a guarantee, but they got to go out there and prove it.
Yeah, I think like I don't know. I think sometimes, man, fans kind of get caught up in, what these national analysts and draft experts have to say. And it's no shade because I can remember me and you being in high school, kind of like having that same mindset. Like
Hmm.
this dude said that dude gonna be a sure thing. So you know how I was in school. I was walking around
Hmm.
like, hey, bro, gonna be a sure thing. And I'm really just repeating what I've heard. But I've been blessed enough to have friends like yourself and Tyvis Powell and others who have played this game at a very high level. And when you get a front row seat as a fan, you have a different perspective, right? Because your conversations with these people are different. And so you understand, like, yeah, just because they say that, that don't mean a damn thing. If this dude get drafted by the wrong team and is in the wrong system or got the wrong coaching, then he might not ever develop to be to who we think. We talking about Abdul Carter being a sure thing. Remember when Chase Young came out?
Mm,
How much of a sure thing did people think Chase Young was going to be? Number 2
mm,
overall pick, right? And
mm.
Chase Young didn't end up having the career that most people projected him to have. So I just think people need to be careful when they say you're going to be a sure thing. I think it's a crapshoot anytime you draft any player because you never know. Injury, poor performance, poor behavior, anything can be an Achilles heel
Work ethic,
to
yep.
you having work ethic. The whole nine can be an Achilles heel to you having success.